Welcome to Wisdom Friday, May 23rd, 2025. And I am Sasha Rose. I am your hostess, and I'm opening up this space on Fridays to share Venus wisdom, which is this take on the astrology, what's moving through in the sky story with alignment with the cosmic feminine. And that is really to support women on your path of purpose. So, this is particularly rich for visionaries in action, entrepreneurs, healers, creatives, soul led business leaders. And the reason that I am putting this emphasis more and more on business is because it's really that time. The era is unfolding, and it's really that time for us to bring our wisdom forward. And right now, one of the most powerful places we have to do that is in the marketplace. And so I've been thinking about this time and this focus, and especially with the Mars energy, the masculine, which I'm going to go more into what that means, the masculine, feminine, and why unify them and all that. Although you probably have some good clues. I'm really thinking about how one of the most obvious manifestations of having masculine and feminine united is when we exert our influence. So we have an intuition, a feeling of value that we're wanting to convey to another person, and we're wanting to influence them to take an action or to not take an action. And so we all do this every day in our relationships. So the Venus space is very much about relationship. And so thank you for being here on this Friday time. Thank you for taking your time and investing in this, because your presence is allowing us to create this network and this we space together. And so how do we take action and exert our influence in a way that is connected to our heart? And I would say even beyond that, or I don't totally know how it works, but I think about the heart as this portal into our deeper soul. It's like this way in our body that we can connect with and tune into and resource into a place that meets our infinite self. And so, one of the most difficult, I think, maybe not for everyone, but I think for women in particular, one of the most difficult ways to exert influence is through selling, especially if it's something that is ours. It's our offering, it's our medicine. And so, as we're going here, if you can relate to what I'm saying, or you have any, like, you know, um, resonance, feel free to put that in the chat. So I think women have a really challenging time selling. And women have never had such an opportunity to participate in the economy as we do now, even though it's a crazy, crazy distorted game. We know that, right? Money is just ridiculous, but it's also the game that we're in. And so I think that so many women are struggling with money because they have a resistance to selling. Is that, I'm getting a yes? Okay, thank you. I can relate to this myself. I remember when I was younger and I was a massage therapist, and my client would pay me at the end of the session, and I felt shy to take their money into my hands. I felt this, like, I don't know, resistance to it. And so it's something that I've worked on a lot over the years, because it's such an incredible path to be an entrepreneur and to be actually generating resources doing what we love. We have to take the heroine's journey of personal growth in order to be an entrepreneur or a leader, to be entrepreneurial, to be looking at this moment and to see with our deeper perception the solution, and to see where that connects with our own gift. To me, that is incredibly sacred. So whatever it is that you're bringing, whatever way you're serving, whether that's products or services, or you work for an organization that's doing something that's cutting edge and innovative, this is really for you, this space. And especially as we are in this Aries cycle, which is already connected to the masculine, I think it's going to be an important piece for us to feel either more comfortable or be able to be more skillful in selling or promoting what we're doing. And so I'm in a really beautiful container right now with Kelly Roach. She has something called the Virtual Business School, which is such an incredible value. It's $49 a month. And it's some of the best business coaching that I've ever had. And I've paid tens of thousands of dollars to business coaches and not received the kind of value I'm getting in this $49 a month container. And so I'm feeling so blessed to be learning from her. And she really sees selling as sacred, and she really holds it in that way. And she models being of great service. And so I would like to begin to open that up in this container, as far as a, a goal, or not even a goal, but a place that we touch into, as far as how are you going to move with this Venus and Aries energy. And for all of you, that might not be the case. It may not be that you're selling or promoting, but you're using your influence for sure. You're using your influence. And so that inner, the value, the guidance, the gift that you have coming out to the outer is already a unification of masculine and feminine, because the way that I hold it is that the inner is the feminine at the most basic level, right? It's the feminine, it's our inner world, it's our bodies, it's our feelings, it's also our emotions, and they're different. It's our intuition, it's our connection to spirit. So both men and women have inner worlds, but women have a special access to that through our bodies, through our biology, because we birth, because we bleed, because we have wombs. And so this womb energy is this creation, this ability to create. And this heart energy is this ability to love and care. And so, of course, everyone has access to those parts of being human. And for the sake of looking at how to develop our qualities, Venus shows us our feminine qualities. And that's what we've been diving into here with the Venus guide, and looking at your Venus sign and seeing how those qualities already live in you, seeing what qualities you want to cultivate, because that energy is your magnetism. So the feminine pulls towards her. She's so connected sensuously with what she wants and what the vision is. It's like she magnetizes it to her. Whereas the masculine is the outer. It's how we get what we want. It's how we go forth. And of course, again, men and women all have access to this, but men are usually more connected to that. And of course, we're conditioned to be these ways as well. So how do we unify so that our inner deep heart's desire is the one that's taking the outer action? When we take action, it's connected to that deeper part of ourself. That's the question. That's the inquiry. And by the way, if anyone is interested in finding out when Kelly Roach is enrolling for her next virtual business school, let me know. I can get you a link. It's a really great resource. So if you have a hard time directing people, in whatever way, or having the oh, the word's not coming to me. It was a better word, but having the ovaries, having the gumption to try to be a leader at this time, unifying both of these parts of you is going to amplify everything that you are doing. It's going to amplify the ways that you lead. And we're all leading in our lives in different ways. So my hope is that this will be relevant to everyone, but particularly for women entrepreneurs or business leaders that want to also increase their ability to sell through the magic of knowing your masculine and feminine. and particularly feminine, we're focused on. But today, we're bringing in the masculine. So before we go further into that, I am going to light a candle. You're welcome to join me if you have one. And I just want to do a little inner connection at the beginning here and invite you to go within. And if you want to take a moment and just gaze at your flame as you bring your attention within. So notice if that's easy for you or if that's challenging. Like when you go within, do you have to close your eyes? Or can you keep your gaze slightly open and to look at the candle? Or if you don't have a candle, to just look at whatever this is in the space. So, right there, that move is an integration of masculine and feminine because you're in your inner world, you're dropping in, you're slowing down, you're feeling yourself. And you may need to close your eyes initially to find that, but then allow your gaze to soften a little bit, your eyes to open a little bit. And if you have a candle, to look at that and notice how you're breathing. No need to change anything. We're sinking into this moment. However, you're breathing, allowing your breath to bring you deeper inside yourself. Allow yourself to feel the lusciousness of your weight, all the places that you're sinking in to your chair, your feet on the floor. And allow yourself as you go within to land right in your heart space, right into the warmth of your care, right into the fire of your love. And you can bring to mind all those that you love, or you can just have the intention to feel your love and allow that to arise naturally in whatever way it does. Not trying to direct how it happens, but inviting yourself to feel your love, inviting that flame within to grow bigger, warmer, brighter, allowing yourself to fill up with that energy. Softening your forehead, softening your eyes, especially your eyeballs, softening your throat, softening your shoulders. Ah, ah, that's the sound. That's the move. Allowing that to bring you from your head down into your heart. So we're softening the mind, we're softening the heart, opening the heart to receive. Today is the new Venus portal in Aries. So we're particularly supported in dropping in and feeling that river that's always there, that river of feelings, impressions, dreamlike. And notice what happens when you allow yourself to slow down even more. Find your perfect pace to feel yourself right here, right now, supported by the earth beneath you, all the waters running through the veins of the earth, all the crystals and all the stones, all of that life below. Sink into your body, sink into that support. Keeping your attention on your heart, on your hearth, on your center flame, being aware of all of the spaciousness above you, the skies, the clouds, the birds, the stars, the planets. Venus shining bright before dawn with the moon this morning, if you got up to see that beautiful sight. Also will be visible tomorrow. and dropping into your heart, choosing to feel your heart right now, and allowing yourself to receive whatever's here to be received. It might be a feeling, it might be a message, it might be a color, an imaginal animal. Imagining yourself the one who has the body that holds this flame of love as a heroine, as a adventurer, as a queen, as an empress, as a healer, as a priestess, whatever these inspiring kinds of words are to speak of the powerful feminine, knowing that is you. And you came at a very, very critical time on the planet to bring your gifts to this dying world that is rallying to be reborn, rallying for something so new that no one alive has ever experienced what we're going to see happen and unfold in this next years. You came to be a part of the solution, feeling your own unique quality of your fire. Maybe it has a color, maybe it has a flickering quality, or it's very still. Feeling your own fire and becoming aware of the other women who are here and their fire lighting up their heart space in this network that we're creating across the world, and all the women that will listen to the replay. Feeling that connection. You are not alone in your journey, and allowing yourself to feel into the places where you have felt isolated, and the vulnerability of being one who sees, the vulnerability of being one who wants to make change in a very distorted system, the one who's devoted to truth, and honoring yourself, giving yourself some warmth from that flame, allowing yourself to feel some self-love if that's available, appreciation. And so, in this time together, we're in our Venus right now, your unique Venus. If you know your Venus design, I want you to bring to mind her qualities, her elements, Venus sign, your phase, your Venus star, just the work that you've done to really connect with that power of that heroine, that power of that energy that is your human woman, but is also your exalted frequency, this clan energy of this feminine frequency that you came to represent. And if you don't know your Venus design, just feel into your feminine qualities and see if there's an image there of your own inner heroine. Just see what arises. And bringing that to completion. And slowly, as you're ready, you're going to come out. If you want to spiral out, you can, or make some movement, or just bring yourself into the space. And when we come into the space, you feel that outer, right? You can feel that transition from inner to outer. And now that your eyes are open and you're more in the outer, I want you to also bring to mind the qualities of your masculine. And if you know your Mars, element and that part of you, you can bring him to mind. And if not, you can just imagine again those qualities that you know of yourself. How do you get what you want? Do you do it graciously? Do you do it under the radar? Do you do it through charm? Do you do it through assertiveness? Okay, so keep those in mind. And to prepare for what we're going to do today, you are going to need 3 spots. And you can do this however you want. If you have pillows, that is optimum. If you have 2 pillows and a chair, that would be the best scenario. And you can do this again, listen to the replay after we do it once. It's worthy of doing more than once. And then you can do it in a more organized way if you don't have 2 pillows and a chair. But we want 3 spots where you can sit, and you're going to actually be moving your body to sit in 3 different spots. So you want to think about that strategically in your space. How are you going to do that? So if you have chairs, you can move chairs. It's better if you can move into a separate chair instead of taking your chair and moving it. So I'm going to give you a minute to figure that out. And I'm going to douse myself with some beautiful essential oil, which you're welcome to do too. We're opening up our senses. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about your seating arrangement? So today is a new Venus portal, and Venus and the moon met in Aries. And yesterday, Venus and Mars made a positive aspect called a trine. And so there was this union, not union as in they were in the same sign, but there was an excited harmony because they were in this positive connection with each other in fire signs. So Venus being at 17 degrees of Aries and Mars being at today 16 degrees of Leo. Yesterday, Venus was also at 16 degrees of Leo. And so this is an opportunity when the sky story is supporting us to unite those qualities within us. And so that's what I wanted to take advantage of today. I was looking through, and we do not have another trine between Venus and Mars until, I can't remember what it was. I think I put it in my post. Did I say February of 2027? Something like that. It's not coming up soon. And it seemed like there was no easeful transits between Venus and Mars in 2026. I was like, okay, this is just not happening. There were squares, but there weren't these kind of beautiful, yummy connections. And so I thought, we need to take advantage of this. This is happening in the sky. We need to take advantage of those energies while we have them available, because for this leadership that Venus and Aries is calling us into, we really need our Mars. We really need to be looking at that quality of how we go forth, our external expression. And of course, Aries is ruled by Mars. So there's an intimate connection. And I want to remind you that this Aries energy, this Venus and Aries cycle that started on March 22nd of this year, maybe if you are new, you weren't aware of that. So that's Venus meeting the sun and opening up a new 19-month cycle, inviting us on a heroine's journey. We are referencing that Aries energy for the entire 19 months. So Venus is going to shift into her next sign, Taurus, and then Gemini. She's going to keep shifting, but we're still referencing that Aries energy. It's the frequency of Aries, the highest expression of Aries. And even though she's going to move into Taurus on June 5th, we're still knowing that we're in an initiating fire cycle of Aries. And so, what that means is that this entire cycle, it's like being in the book of the Venus and Aries cycle. And we had one in 2017, and we had one 8 years before, and we had one 8 years before. So, it's this heartbeat that's coming back that's going to land in the same part of our chart. And holy wow, there is so much going on in Aries right now. Holy wow. And usually all the astrologers are talking about everything else that's happening in Aries, but not the Venus cycle. So I want you to know that's not a changing after she moves into Taurus. So we're studying the Aries cycle, and there's all these support team in there. And tomorrow, Saturn will move into Aries, which I think will be very helpful. This has been very hard last degree. You feeling that like incredibly draining, and forward motion seems difficult. And I look at that last degree, that 29 degree of any sign, but especially Pisces, because it's the last sign. So we have the final degree of the final sign. It's like, to me, it's, when you're drinking some tea or some coffee and you take the last sip and there's like this grit at the bottom, like a little bit of leaves. To me, that's the last degree. So it seems to bring forth a lot of grit about that sign. So, not the best expression of Pisces. Wanting to escape is possibly happening, being so tired. Sometimes there can be confusion, lack of motivation, feeling directionless, feeling lost is very much a Pisces, feeling depressed, weighed down by the despair of the world, because Pisces is connected to the one, and we can feel all. And we know that until all are free, we cannot truly be free. We can feel that in our bones. So there's a heaviness that's been particularly prevalent. Have you all been feeling that too with that final degree, which has been going for, I don't know, seems like a few weeks. Like it's more intense. So that shift into Aries is going to give this Venus cycle the planet of discipline, Saturn, the planet of contractions, like the hard teacher. That's a social planet. So Saturn and Jupiter are social planets. So they're like teacher planets. So that hard teacher that teaches us through limits, through obstacles, is going to shift into Aries. And then we're going to have this whole Neptune in Aries, the great dreamer, in this first sign of life and vitality. Ceres, the major asteroid, is in Aries right now. Of course, Venus is in Aries and the moon is in Aries right now. And Chiron, the wounded healer, the centaur, who through great pain uncovered great gifts of astrology and music and poetry. And of course, Eris, who's been in Aries our whole lives. So this Aries place is packed. And the question really is, what kind of new life are we going to create? And so when we unite with Mars, when that outer is connected to the inner, and the inner is our hearts, we can trust what we're creating to be for the benefit of life, to be kind, even if it can be fierce. Fierce and kind can go together. So this move is really important because we're not just looking at these planets that are shifting. A lot of planets are shifting right now. We have this concentration in Aries, but we're in a new era. We're in a new age with the Aquarian energies being at that very outer layer of these long-term shifts that inform what humanity is being asked to do. And in Aquarius, we're being asked to rise, to awaken to our power as humanity. And this also coincides with the end of the Kali Yuga, which is a very dark yuga. So it's like we're saying the same things, but in different languages, different astrology systems. We're seeing the darkness everywhere. It's not even hidden anymore. We're seeing the level of evil that people, if they are people on this planet, have been committing. And it's horrifying. And on some level, we always knew, we always could feel, right, that there's something about this world that was off. And now it's all coming out. It's getting purified, it's getting revealed. And likely more of that will happen when Saturn also shifts into Aries. The corruption will be shown. And so we are the light, we are the flame. We are connected to each other, and we're the ones to be a part of a movement to honor life and to say, no, Aries is the first sign. No, we're not going to go to war. We're tired of these endless wars. I never signed up to live in a world where war was happening all the time and children were dying all of the time. No, like that first sign, Aries, we're reclaiming that fire, that fierce feminine fire, to be about life, to be about taking action to create a more beautiful, caring world. So that's the pitch for uniting the masculine and feminine within, and then we become more powerful agents of doing that in the external world. How is that landing for you? Got a pretty small crew here, and it always helps me when I'm doing these to get feedback, to just see where you all are at. So even if you're not on the live Zoom and you're listening to the replay, like I'd really love to hear how this is landing for you, and if you're feeling the call, because I want you to feel the call. I want you to feel the call. We have until June 1st before Venus starts to descend. And I really want you to get that understanding that you need to make a choice. Are you going to go again? Are you going to go on the heroine's journey of self-discovery once again and go to your next deepest layer? All right, great. Paula feels the call. Awesome. So I was thinking about this because feeling the call, it's not like always so obvious. Like I love that you're feeling it and you're saying yes to it. And sometimes we get a lot of resistance, even though we're compelled. We know there's something deeper. And I was just watching one of my favorite shows, I think maybe the best show ever, called The OA. Have any OA fans in here? And in this, it's on Netflix, highly recommend. It's incredible. Never seen anything like it. And it's very much about the care between people. That's what can move things. That's what can open up multidimensional realities. But in this beginning of the story, this character, the OA, this woman, she puts out the call because she needs help. She needs to cross a border, an unseen border, and she can't do it by herself. And so she actually ends up making a YouTube video because she doesn't know what to do. She's like, she needs 5 people to come and help her. And so she does this YouTube video, and she's like, it's like poetry. She's like, I need help. And people see it that are going to help her. But do they come right away? No, they do not. They're resisting. The one woman who ends up being a key figure in the whole journey that they have together. She ends up being like the key. When she sees the YouTube video come up on her screen, she shuts it. She shuts her computer. She's like, what is that? Like, I don't want that. But they all show up. They all show up to the place where she has invited them to, just in the nick of time. And there are 5. So it really reminded me that this call to the heroine's journey is not always something that we want to say yes to, but we feel it. And they couldn't deny that feeling. They were compelled. And she was asking them to do weird things, like leave your door open when you come. Strange things. They didn't know why. Why am I leaving my door open? But they did it and they came. So there's something deeper that is calling you. And I especially want you to have the opportunity to make that conscious choice before June 1st when she starts to descend. And if you haven't gone out to see her, I really hope you do that before June 1st, because what's going to happen is you're going to receive the codes in your eyes and into your being of her before she descends. You're going to receive her rising energy, her fullness. She changes phases when she starts to descend, when she reaches the greatest elongation from the sun, the greatest distance. It's like then she's really going on a journey. Right now, she's still like preparing. She's like, I'm doing it. I'm getting ready. I'm so bold and bright in the morning. Did you come see me? She's like this wise sister that's rooting us on. She's like, come on, human women, you can do this. I know it seems impossible, but show up to the moment. Say yes. Okay. I will confess I am a little bit lagging today because I could not sleep last night and I didn't get so much sleep and I'm feeling in between the worlds with that Saturn and Pisces energy. So we are going to have a conversation between your masculine and your feminine. And so we're going to be really doing what would be called almost like parts work, if you've ever done parts work. And we're going to be talking feminine part to masculine part. So the first thing that you're going to do is set up your pillows sitting across from each other. And you can feel into like which is the feminine, which is the masculine. We tend to have this orientation to feminine on the left and masculine on the right. And so you are going to start in your feminine seat. And if you can't do this physically, you can imagine it, but it's way more powerful if you actually do it physically and you actually set up the pillows. So the pillow that is for your feminine, you're going to sit there and you're looking across the space at your masculine. So you can use your intuition, you can use your imagination for this. He may echo a remembrance of your father or any early male figure. He might bring up stuff for you that is unresolved. That might be a part of your masculine. And so you're looking at him and you're just staying open and curious. Even if you feel like, what am I doing? This is silly. You're open and curious, and you're going to be in that beautiful receiving that we just dropped into in your heart. So the first thing you're going to do is notice what is the general feeling that you have when looking at him, your other, your inner masculine, like what comes up for you. And what qualities do you see in him? How does he seem? Like, what is his state of being right now? Like, what's he about? So notice that, tune into that. Who is this inner masculine? How would he look? What would the qualities be? Both his actual physical qualities and then like what kind of man is he? Is he a poet? Is he a warrior? And then notice, how does your energy want to express towards him? So now you're going to have an opportunity to share with him what you're feeling. How do you feel? What do you want to tell him? And it's best to do this, especially if you're in your own space and you're listening to the replay. It's best to do this if you can do it out loud. And you can do whatever. There's no right answer. There's no right way. This is your feminine expressing herself to your masculine. And you can sing, you can dance, you can emote, whatever it is you want to share authentically. I want you to know I feel this when I look at you. Might be something you're upset at. You want to really get this off your chest. So go ahead and spend a little bit of time doing that. And then you're going to bring that to a close. And you want to sum it up. So you want to focus it on one sentence that really captures the experience of what you wanted him to know. So, can you bring it down to its essence? Anything that you shared. And of course, if you're doing this a second time or doing this with the replay, you can pause the video and you can spend more time. And I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to spend more time. Okay. And then notice how your feminine is feeling after expressing that. And then you're going to switch positions. So now you're standing up and you're going and you're sitting in your masculine seat, your pillow, your chair, whatever that is. And now you're looking across the space at your feminine. So you're settling into this masculine seat. You're also being open, curious, and noticing, oh, what does it feel like to be my masculine? Really allow yourself to go there in your imagination without putting your own orientation as a woman onto him. Like, just what does it feel like to be him? And what is he feeling? What's going on in his inner world? And look across at your feminine, and how do you feel looking at her? How do you feel looking at your feminine? Your beautiful feminine, that heroine. And so, what you're going to do now is you're going to remember what your feminine told you. What was that power sentence that summed up what she had to say to you? I want you to know that. So, really hear that again, receive it, and notice what comes up in your body when you hear it. What impact do her words have on you? Okay. Also, you can pause the video, take a little more time there if you wish to do that. Now you're going to notice her. How do you feel looking at her? What comes up for you now, having heard her, having felt her? What qualities do you notice in her? And how does she seem being here with you, sitting across from you? How does your energy, your masculine energy, want to express towards her? What do you want to say? So now you're going to let your words flow. You're going to tell her something that's happening from your heart, from your emotions. How are you feeling? What do you want her to know? And so ideally you're saying this out loud in your own space. There's no one around. Way better to do it out loud. I want you to know, I feel. Are you upset about something? Is there something unresolved? Get that off your chest. Express it. And then coming up with that one sentence to summarize what it was you wanted her to know. And again, if you want to pause the video and spend more time here, feel free to do that. Really pare it down to one sentence. Okay. Now you're going to get up again and go on to your feminine pillow, the pillow of your feminine. And you're going to receive that statement, receive what he has to say to you, let it land in you, really hear him, look at him and hear him. And notice how you feel. Okay. Again, you can pause and take more time there if you want. You're going to gracefully get up from your feminine pillow. It's a lot of moving up and down, and you're going to go to a third seat. That could be a chair, but this is the place where you're completely neutral. You're not masculine, you're not feminine. You could say this is your Mercury. Androgynous. There's no allegiance to any side here. And you're really looking at the two of them, your masculine and your feminine, sitting across from each other, still in your imagination, and just noticing the energy between them. Noticing how that interaction has changed their energy, their dynamic. And noticing how open they are towards each other. Do they seem connected? Do they seem more bonded? Is there still unresolved energy? Are they touched? Are there tears? Is there a sense of union? And then allowing in your imagination, your masculine in your feminine to come together and to have an embrace, to really sink into each other, to give gratitude for the other one being honest, being real, sharing with you their heart, and seeing if you can feel that imaginal embrace and feeling what arises around what you want to create together as a team. And excitement for that. What do you want to bring out into the world that is connected to your deepest heart's desire? That's how we experience fulfillment, right? It's that we're going after the right things that really light us up, that connect with our deepest values. Venus is our values. They're invisible, but they inform everything we do, or we hope they do. We can choose on the heroine's journey for our values to be our guideposts. because it feels terrible to go against our values. So the feelings are going to show us. So taking a moment, coming out of that embrace and just allowing like the whole scenario to dissolve into light. Ah, ah, ah. So the body of your feminine dissolves, the body of your masculine dissolves, the neutral witness dissolves. And just for a moment, see if you can hang out in the nothing, in the not knowing. And then if you want to put some words to that and write some things in your journal, highly recommend you have your Venus journal so you can write these kind of insights. And I'm going to give you a little time here to do that.
Games that never amount to more than they're meant will play themselves out. Take this sinking boat and port it home. We've still got time.
Okay, finishing up. That is Falling Slowly by Glenn Hansard and Makita Berglova. And if you haven't seen that movie, it's called Once, with those two singers. It is such a beautiful love story. It's really, really incredible. And he has such emotion in his voice. So rare to hear in a male singer. I love that song. So I hope that supported you to feel some of that love energy within. And I hope this process supported you in feeling that power of your own resources within and how you can work with your inner world to become a more powerful agent of change at this time. So, if you are interested in having guidance and going deeper in all of this, most especially really understanding your unique Venus design and how to work with that to look at your purpose, your leadership, your unique qualities of how you lead and how you influence, and how that can work with your branding and your business. I have a few different ways that you can work with me. One is to have a Venus design session that is really like a getting started kit for syncing with Venus. And that's between 90 minutes and 2 hours, kind of depends. And that is $497. And I'm actually don't have the website for that yet, but if you're interested in having that as an intro, you can get in touch with me and we can set that up. And then I have some openings for a VIP 2 day experience where the first day is dropping into your Venus design and really helping you understand your gifts, because all of that's coded in your Venus, your gifts, your purpose, your soul level um, inspiration for this life, your North Star, what helps you to be meditating on and orienting to for this whole life, what's going to open and blossom. It's all coded in there. And then the second day, we go into this particular Venus cycle and how to plan your business with the energies that are available for optimum success. And so we'll look at what you want to accomplish, where you are with your goals in your business, and then how the energies at different times can support that, when to ebb, when to flow, really good times for launching, and all of these things. And then the third way is through a mentorship. So either 3 months or 6 months, we're really working together. We meet 3 times a month and we're following that thread of your heroine's journey, really anchoring and grounding you into it with everything I just said and more. We can go much deeper into the mentorship so that you begin to really understand how to sync with Venus on your own and how to take these tools forward with you, and how to maximize this cycle that's all about new beginnings. We really get to reinvent ourselves like never before. We really get to shed the past and step into our strongest and most wise version of ourselves to become that woman that can fulfill our big dreams. We've never had a more potent time to activate in that way. And so, if you're feeling that and you want that kind of guidance, that kind of intimate personal support, that's what the mentorship is for. And I will send out links with the replay. I've been settling kind of into a new space in a different home halfway across the country from where I used to live. And so for me, like in the Saturn in Pisces, it's been hard to get all of the creations online as far as the offerings, but I'm getting the clarity on how I can serve. And I can particularly serve women who are in that midlife transit of Chiron return, because you really have the freshest new wisdom for the culture right now. So that's from about age 47 to 58. Certainly, if you're not in that age range and you want to work with me, go ahead and reach out. I can work with women who are in any kind of threshold. But that's what this is. It's allowing the energy of the cosmos and the astrology to help initiate you to become an initiated woman of heart, and a culture that doesn't give us these markers and usually tells us when we're over 40 that we're old news, and over 50 forget about it, which is just such an inversion, because that's when we come into our richness and our ripeness. And that we're not, if we have been mothers, not all of us are mothers, but if we have been mothers, there's a liberation from taking care of our actual human children to birthing that creation, that way that we're going to help the culture to say yes to a new paradigm and really be the spark of that, be the light of that. This Aries energy is very much about sparking and not looking for what others are doing, not being informed by what the masses are doing, but really listening to that place inside. And I found that it can be critical to have support in that process of understanding how to access those places and to remember, because that's what we often do in this very distracted culture. Is there's this thing and this thing and this information, and then suddenly we're off. So we keep coming back to what is your home base for your soul led life and business, and how do you access those parts of you, how do you anchor into them, how do you remember, and then how do we meet the energies that are available in the cosmos to support us. And so those are the opportunities, and we can just get on a call and explore it if you are intrigued. by any of that. All right, beautiful ones. I toast to you in this Venus and Aries new Venus portal. I hope you're able to get up and see Venus and the moon tomorrow. I slept in this morning. I will confess. I put the alarm on and I didn't make it. And then I opened my eyes and I was like, too late because already the sky was too bright. The other thing I want to let you know, I guess you can't really see it, but there's this really cool essence. It's a Venus Cycles essence by Desert Alchemy. She makes all kinds of flower essences, but she has a Venus essence. And I think it's fun. Like if you like ritual and playing and ceremony, it's great to have that and to especially dose on that on the new Venus portals, just like bringing in that energy. And of course, we don't really like need anything. We just need ourselves and our hearts, but it can be fun to play in those ways and to build an altar today that represents this fiery Aries energy, to find some flowers, stones, shells, whatever inspires you, and to create that space in your house where you're remembering, just remembering your own feminine wisdom, giving yourself time and space for that to be received, and keeping your journal when they're ready so you can write down those beautiful insights. And I hope this has been helpful and supportive. It's such an honor to be a guide for you wise ones on your journey. And just know this is happening currently every Friday. I don't know, this might be a really hard time for people to come, some kind of questioning. Maybe I need to move the time. I don't know. So if you're not here, thank you to the women that showed up and participated live. It really changes the energy. But if you're not and you're in the replay and there's a better time for you, let me know. It's all up for consideration. This is an experiment. And yeah, lots of love to you. And I hope to see you again soon. Take good care of yourselves and be in touch. Bye. You are so welcome.